Gran Turismo 7 is a broken, buggy mess that does not deserve your money. What you're watching here is not some sort of glitch or exploit by a player to drive past other cars. This is the actual state of Gran Turismo 7 right now. This is a race that I was in, and you can see here, these are not drivers running wide. This is the insane amount of lag that's in the game right now. It's absolutely crazy. I race at the very highest level of the game, and as you're going to see, this has affected me. I'm going to show you later in the video in exactly what way. But look at this. I mean, just going down the straight, everyone else appearing to be in the barrier, and then obviously they're going to warp back onto the track. It is impossible to race like this. Gran Turismo 7 is probably the most popular driving game in the world. So people play it all over the world at all levels, but they also run an insane esports tournament on Gran Turismo 7 that I compete in. They also run the Olympics in Gran Turismo 7, and you can see here the combination of these glitches and these sort of races that everyone comes out of the glitch and the bug and the lag all fighting next to each other, and we end up having these situations where people end up off the road coming out of the glitch, and also it's easy to drive off the road. Let me know in the comments, by the way, if you think this is acceptable. I've got my thoughts. So my thoughts are they need to really update the game, I think, to be separate on PS5 and PS4. The fact that every update they do is compatible with PS4 and PS5, I think is now a little bit crazy. You're going to see me here enter a race where I could not afford to get one bad piece of contact, otherwise I would lose my license in Gran Turismo 7. So I'm racing at the very top of the game, but I could lose my license, so you're going to see what happens here. Keep an eye out. But I think it's just the time has gone for... You see the chat as well in the pre-race. The time has gone for the PS4, PS5 compatibility. I think they should wrap up the game on PS4. It's a great game. They can leave it in a stable state for people to play. And I think they should now move on with PS5 to make it as stable as they can do, and also push on with other stuff. That's a very controversial opinion. I made a video probably over 2 years ago now when Gran Turismo was announced as being cross-platform, and I said it was a good thing. I said it was going to widen the player base, it was going to make it less exclusive, it was going to make it more accessible. But 2 years down the line, I really do think the time has come. You can see these glitches just make it, frankly, almost impossible to drive, because you want to drive as fast as possible, you want to drive in close proximity to other cars. But how on earth can you do that when you don't know if what you're seeing, what your eyes are telling you, is actually representative? See, I go off the track here, I was just a little bit distracted. And that's something that I should do better at. I shouldn't be distracted by what's going on. But I just was there, and I went off the road, and I lose all these positions and end up further down the path. It's just really, really, really crazy for me that this is a game that still costs a lot of money. It does go on sales from time to time, but generally costs a lot of money. I'm playing it on PS5, a very expensive console, and frankly, you don't really see this stuff in other games that people call expensive. People call iRacing expensive. You have to pay for a subscription, but frankly, you don't really see this kind of stuff, to be honest, generally speaking. So what are Gran Turismo 7 doing? Have they decided to upgrade the servers? Have they decided to actually downgrade the servers? Have they decided that now Gran Turismo 7 is at the point where it's not worth paying for servers, and so maybe it's all gone peer-to-peer or something? I don't know. That could be it. Maybe they're just not making enough money on new sales, because there's obviously been a change that in classic Gran Turismo fashion they have not told us anything about. They didn't say, look, we're going to make a change to the servers, there might be some instability, because then I wouldn't have entered this race. Knowing that my whole license was on the line, there's no way I would have entered it if they had said, okay, there might be some instability. But I did enter it to kind of see what was going on. I hoped it wasn't going to be too bad, but you can see here all the cars going off on the right hand side. I mean, it's absolutely atrocious, just really impossible to drive. We've known that, and there we go, we got kicked out, and what that meant is we actually did end up losing our license. So I'll have to go back, regain my license, but it is impossible to drive with this glitch, and I think it's really poor that they have not given us any information on what's going on. For me, this is a game critical issue, frankly, and the lobbies have been bad for a long time. I was doing lobbies over the weekend and it was absolutely terrible, but we've kind of known that with lobbies. But now they've destroyed sport mode, especially with the manufacturer series going tomorrow. That is an esports series with some pretty decent prizes. You know, you get to go to the live event if you get through to the finals for your manufacturer. And frankly, you know, anyone who's spending a lot of time on that must be feeling like a mug, because it's an absolute lottery. You might go into that and you might be disconnected straight away. Let me know what you think in the comments. I've got some other interesting G7 glitches in the past up here that you might find interesting to watch. But yeah, GT7 at the moment is an absolute mess.